Okay, everybody, it's Marguerite Crispello, and welcome to our Success Tune-Ups today. Super excited about our class today. We have a huge turnout, way more than I expected. But we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're figuring it all out. So I appreciate your patience, and thank you so much for logging in today. So this is a really fun topic, champagne marketing on a beer budget. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up as a little girl, my mom used to always say I had champagne taste. And I never really understood that until I got a little bit older and realized that maybe my income was not quite as high as I expected it to. And so my expenses would exceed my income, right? So that's one of the challenges that we face in real estate, is that we have such inconsistent income that many times it's really difficult to figure out where exactly to spend your marketing dollars. So let's dig in. A few little housekeeping tips. Number one, please turn off or mute your cell phones so that you can dedicate an entire hour to learning. A huge thing that many real estate agents do is they neglect their learning, and they always seem to think that there's some emergency that should overtake things. And I'm here to encourage you to take some time, shut down, make sure you can really listen in and stay focused. We're going to try something new today too. So if you have a question during the presentation, you can type your question into the chat bar below, or you can live tweet us at @mcrispillo, and use the hashtag #SuccessTuneups, and we'll be able to see your questions and answer them on Twitter. Super fun. So maybe you can test it out for me to let me know how it works. All right. So today's topics, we're going to do a few things. We're going to talk about using listings to lead generate for buyers and sellers. You're probably thinking, duh, we know that needs to be done. But what I think many people do is they do it in the wrong way. They don't really generate much business from listings. And then what are some ways that you can market listings that aren't even yours? This is a lot of fun, and I do this. Of course, we get permission, and we'll talk about that. Then we're going to talk about using free sites to lead generate. Lots of options there these days. And how to get 3 times more out of direct mail. You know, I laugh because when I first got into real estate, we didn't have the internet. So we had to get super creative with print media and a number of other things. And now you guys have so many options. It's kind of crazy out there. So let's talk about the definition of marketing. You know, marketing, according to this definition, is the process by which companies determine what products or services may be of interest to customers, and the strategy to use in sales, communications, and business development. It's an integrated process through which companies create value for customers and build strong customer relationships in order to capture value from customers in return. I think many agents get really stuck with the word marketing, right? We think that all we need to do is go out there and sell. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can have the most wildest, best product on the planet, whatever that is. But if you never learn how to market it, that product can sit and get dusty on the shelf and no one even knows it exists. So I like to think of myself more as a marketer than a salesperson. Here's the big deal. Marketing is not about what you want, but about what works. Let me say that again because I think it's really important. Marketing is not about what you want. In other words, it's not about something all pretty and fancy and all that, but it's about what really works. What gets people to pick up the phone and call you? What encourages people to contact you? How does that work? So, for example, look at these 2 different ads. Now, the ad on the right-hand side is a typical real estate ad that you see from many agents. All they want to do is market different properties, and they've got so much information that you can't even begin to tell what it is that is on that page. On the left-hand side, number 1, notice that it's in yellow, and it talks about how first-time homebuyers can buy with no money down. Now, if you did not listen to our Get Rich in the Niche class last week, head on over to TuesdayTuneups.com and get signed up to go over that program, because that was an awesome class we did last week. So the problem is most of what you see other agents doing, to be honest with you, does not work. You know, I had a conversation the other day with an agent who advertises in a high-end magazine. And I said, how many leads do you generate from that magazine? She goes, oh, I don't get any leads from it. What it is it's to keep my sellers happy. Now, to me, obviously there's a point in that, but that's not the point of advertising. That's not really what works. The point is to generate business from those ads. So here's the true bottom line too. I'm here to tell you that agents spend thousands and thousands of dollars on fancy websites, professional printing, search engine optimization, and pay-per-click. I can tell you just on websites alone. Now think about what you do in a day. How often do you actually go to someone's website? Many times what you do is you'll go to their Facebook page, you'll go to Twitter, you'll go to wherever you go, but anymore, hardly anybody is actually going to people's website pages. And I'm not saying not to have one, you should have one. But if your website page is not generating leads for you, then you need to really look at it closely and determine how effective that website is. Now, if you're not tracking where your leads come from, that's a whole nother class. I think we already did that class a couple weeks ago. But the reality is you should be tracking where every single one of your deals comes from by asking your clients questions so that you know exactly where your dollars should be spent. So professional printing, brochures and flyers, search engine, we talked about that, and pay-per-click. This is what most agents spend thousands and thousands of dollars on. And on top of that, I know a lot of you are paying money for Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow. I mean, I don't know, Zillow alone is charging thousands of dollars. Their fees just went up like 25% over the last year. I mean, imagine what you could do with that $1,000 a month if you were to really put it into your database. That's a whole nother class. We're going to talk about database in a couple weeks. All right, so all of these can be effective, truthfully. I mean, they all do work with, with some limitations. But what if you don't have the budget, right? What if you don't have $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 a month? I was talking to an agent a couple weeks ago, and he's spending $10,000 a month on Zillow advertising. $10,000 a month. And when I asked him, I said, well, how much business are you getting from that? He goes, well, I'm getting tons of leads, but he doesn't have the time to call everybody. So he's spending all this money on advertising, generating lots of leads, but he's not doing any of the follow-up or follow-through. And I just think that that's craziness. So if you're tracking a lot of that, you need to really pay close attention to where that money is going. And is it really worth it? Because if you're going to spend all that money and not follow up with leads, what a waste of money that is. So let's talk about some alternatives, okay? How about some online lead generation on a beer budget? I don't know, that sounds pretty good to me. So let's talk first of all about social media. Come on now, it's free, right? Here's the great thing about social media. You can do advertising on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn. Every one of these costs $0. My favorite word, free. And on top of that, you can use listings to lead generate on social media. And, most only post about a listing or a new program and say, just call me. And I'm not sure how effective that is. I don't think it's effective at all. But the number one failure that we see is not including a good CTA. What's CTA mean? Call to action. Are you creating a call to action for these people to actually call you? Like, why would they call you? Just because you had a pretty picture on there? Or what's the reason that people are going to legitimately call you? The bottom line is the key to any ad is to get people to respond. I ask this question all the time in my training classes. I'll say, what's the number one reason for an ad? And everyone comes up with a variety of reasons. Well, the bottom line, any advertising, the number one reason is to get the phone to ring. And how you know if your ad is effective or not is how often the phone rings. So for example, if you place an ad and you get not one call on it, there's a problem with the ad. Would you not agree? But if you're placing an ad and you're getting lots and lots of calls on that ad and you're not converting any of those clients, then the problem is you, which means you need to work on your skill, your conversion skill, and your telephone skills. But 9 times out of 10, the biggest problem is people are just running ineffective ads. So they're not even getting the phone to ring to begin with. And if they are, they're not tracking it. So they really don't know which ads are working and which isn't. Offering an easy call to action will increase your response dramatically by creating a simple process for people to get a hold of you. I laugh because sometimes I talk to an agent and they'll be talking to a lead on the phone and they'll say, oh, just go to my website. Well, that is like a huge no-no. When you get somebody on the phone, don't let them get off the phone by sending them to your website. Big, big no-no. So how can you use your listings to lead generate? This is a simple Instagram post that I will put on Instagram. And the cool thing with social media many times is that you can share the information. For example, when I post this on Instagram, it automatically shares to Facebook and Twitter. So I don't have to worry about logging into a whole bunch of different sites and figuring out where to post it. If you look on here, we have a few different ways to get prospects to contact us. They can text us, and I'll talk about the 5th digit there in a moment. They can call me. They can go to a specific website for that property, or they can message me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. So we're giving them lots of ways and simple ways that they are able to get a hold of us. Now, if you notice under the text number, you'll see that the address for the property is 4534. But the text message there is telling us where that lead came from. So if somebody were to text us to the phone number that's there and they were to enter that 45344, we would instantly know that that lead came from Instagram. And what that does is it tells us if those Instagram ads are effective or not. If we're getting several texts from Instagram, then that's working. If we're not getting texts from Instagram, that's not working, okay? So using your listings again to lead generate. Let's talk a little bit about Facebook. First of all, there are a few things that you can do very cheaply on Facebook. Number one, you can boost your post. Now, what that means is that when you notice when you post a picture on your Facebook page, not your personal page, your business page, it gives you the option to boost that post. And you can boost it for $5, $50, whatever it is. But let me give you one little tip. If you're going to boost your post, boost it for a minimum of $5 a day. That'll cost you $25 to boost it. So don't get crazy and boost it for $50, $100 because boosting it for one day, we've found out is not very effective. I spent quite a bit of time researching this and talking with the people at Facebook. And on average, it takes about 3 to 4 days for your ad to circulate through the news feed. So keep your budget low, but do it for more days and you'll get a better response on it. Another great thing is asking your friends to share. So you can go through and maybe ask your other realtor friends to share your post. You can ask your family and friends to share it. You can tag other agents you know, of course, get their permission because nothing drives me crazy more than having somebody tag me in a bunch of stuff that's not relevant to me. But great ways are you can tag other people and a number of other things to get your post boosted as high as possible. I will tell you another thing that is getting a ton of results right now is video. Make a 15-second video, and you're thinking, 15 seconds, how the heck can I say anything there? 15 seconds is the maximum amount of time that you can post on Instagram. So you can create a quick video that says, hey, I've got this awesome property out here. We're going to be available and open Saturday from 1 to 4. Swing on by. We got special treats for you. And something like that in a quick video will get way more attention and attraction. So that's a great little tip you can use right there. So social media is really the most cost-effective way to get your message out, and it really provides an opportunity for people to share. It's awesome. Now, you're saying, well, Marguerite, I don't have any listings. Either I'm a new agent or, I've only got 1 or 2 listings at the time. Well, here's the bottom line. Many times you can go to other agents either within your office or outside of your office and ask them if they mind you advertising their listing. I will tell you that about 50% of the agents out there don't have any trouble with it. They're completely fine with you advertising their listings. Some do. Now, here's a cool little tip. HUD Homes. If you're familiar with HUD Homes, you can go to HUDHomestore.com. Right here, you can see HUDHomestore.com. You are free to advertise any HUD homes anytime you want. They're what's called open listings. So you can go to your area, your zip code, or your county, pull up any HUD homes that are available, and you can advertise those bad boys all day long, and you don't need permission. So let's back up for a moment. You can also contact for sale by owners is another great idea for getting out there. You can go out there with the the thought that, hey, I'm not really interested in listing your home, although that'd be great if it did. But the bottom line is, would they be willing to let you advertise it for potential buyers? So those are some great ways that you are able to advertise other listings that can help you generate new business, right? So another option is Craigslist. I know that there's been a lot of controversy about Craigslist lately with, you know, renters and scams and things like that, but it's still getting tons and tons of traffic, and it's easy. You can go in and it's free. You can advertise 5, 6, 7 properties a day. Every 7 days you can refresh those, and you can get tons and tons of traffic just by going to Craigslist. And many times an option too is just go to Craigslist to get your website out there so you can get people back to your website. Or we're going to talk about landing pages in a moment. That's another great resource and a great option. So for example, you can see right here, here's a sample of what we've done with Craigslist. We've put a picture in there. Again, you will see that we use text options with a 5th digit to allow us to know where that advertising is coming from and what's working. We can include contact info on the property photos. You do not want to include the address. Why do you not want to include the address? Because then they'll just go look up the information themselves, right? Send them to a landing page in the ad if at all possible, and limit the amount of photos to build curiosity. Remember, what's the point of an ad? To get the phone to ring. Many agents get caught up in everything looking pretty and fancy, not necessarily what is most effective. So let's talk about landing pages for a few moments. And you're thinking, what the heck are landing pages? Well, just about all database programs now have some sort of a way that you could create a landing page. A landing page is simply one page where you're trying to get their contact information, as opposed to a whole huge website that can cost you thousands of dollars. On that landing page, you can simply offer something of interest and always include an opt-in form. An opt-in form is the space where somebody can go and enter their first name and their email address. I would not ask for a lot of details from your potential clients, because the more information you ask, the less likely people are to fill out the information. If you simply get a first name and an email address, you can do some email marketing and some drip campaigns to that person that can definitely generate business for you down the road. But when you start asking for their address and phone number and email and firstborn's name, a lot of times people will not be willing to share that information and definitely won't fill out your form. So decide what buyers and sellers really want, right? To get the content, they must opt in. So don't give them all the information on the landing page. Ideally, you want to keep your headlines to 9 words or less and keep the information on that page very limited. The content can then be emailed to them, or you can redirect them to a specific web page where they can access the information. This is all a little bit techie stuff, but I'm here to tell you, for example, All Clients is the program that I use. I think you see the link right there. You can go to allclients.com, and on All Clients, you will find that they have, I mean, literally you could do a landing page in minutes, super simple. So if you'll notice on this form here, we're only asking them for their first name, last name, and email. If they want to fill in the rest of the information, that would be great, but they don't have to. Here's another example that we did. In the last 90 days, this landing page has generated 73 high-quality leads that happily provided us with their name, phone number, and email address. If you see this, it's giving them a list of all the listings. They can get instant access to new listings in real time, right? Lots of ways to do this. So these are simple examples of ways to get buyers. You'll notice the domain name is Placer County MLS. This is great, but you can either choose new domain names. Most people won't really pay that close of attention to the domain name, so I wouldn't get super caught up in that. So how do you actually drive traffic to your pages, right? What are some ways that you can get people to these simple landing pages? Well, we already talked about social media. You can post this kind of stuff on social media. And just to tell you, this sample landing page that you're looking at right now is similar to one that is used by a large marketing company out there that charges a minimum of $2,000 a month just for them to create that landing page for you. So you can do this for free. or you can pay for 40, 50 bucks a month for all clients or one of the other programs and make these yourself. You can create Craigslist ads and include them in the ad, right? You can put this domain name in there. Put them on the back of your flyers, include them on your website. Get really creative. What are some ways you could do this? I know that for years, my husband had a magnet made and he had it on the back of his truck and it said www.homezerodown.com. And we used to get leads from that all the time. Put a magnet on your car, but don't make it so complicated. Like everybody's trying to put their pretty picture all over things and all this kind of stuff. And with all due respect, people don't really care about you. They care about finding a house. So make sure that your advertising is actually working. So for example, you'll see here on the back of flyers, we've put it on the Craigslist ads. We've done a number of different things. We already talked about boosting. Oh, here we talk about boosting this post. You can take a simple landing page, again, boost your post, create a paid Facebook ad to target your ideal client. Last week, we talked about getting rich in your niche and figuring out who your ideal client is. So now you can go into Facebook targeting, which is super cool, and create a manageable daily budget. Like think about this, $5 a day times 30 days is only $150 a month. You're probably spending that at Starbucks alone. So in case you missed it last week, let's talk a little bit about Facebook. Who do you want your ads to reach when we're talking about Facebook advertising? Now, Facebook ads is a little different than just sharing on your main page, okay? Facebook ads is actually advertising. And you can really target, you can dig deep into who you want to see your ads. For example, you can see here, you can create custom audiences. You can choose people that are just in your local area. You can choose a specific age and more demographics. Like this shows here, you can filter down into the zip code, a number of other things. You can select an age range. Like most likely 18-year-olds are not buying a home, but if they are, that's fantastic. But you can target, like if you're selling a home, for example, in a Del Webb community, you'd only want to target people that are 55 years and older. A great way to do that. Maybe people that, if you're bilingual, which is an awesome skill, if you're bilingual, choosing people that only speak your language. If you want male or female, again, languages. So there's even more demographics that are super cool. You can dig into their education level, fields of study, schools. You can dig into where they work. You know, maybe you're specifically targeting state workers would be super awesome. What is their net worth? If you're selling high-end luxury homes, you'd want to target people that are specifically have a higher net worth. This is kind of cool. You can even target people what their home ownership is, what their household composition is. You can even figure out who is most likely to be a first-time home buyer or who is currently renting. Isn't that cool? All this information is available for free. And or you can run these Facebook ads for as little as $5 a day. You can test them for, let's say you test one for 10 days and you're not getting results. Guess what? You can turn around, rewrite the ad, and try it again. I mean, where else can you do that? You can't do it with Zillow. You can't spend all the money. I mean, Zillow requires a 1-year contract for one zip code. So here, you can spend that money all day long and generate much more detailed types of people. You can dig into their interests. This is pretty cool. You can look at their behaviors, right? Like, look at how long people have lived in their house. Who's most likely to move? I mean, isn't that fantastic information for you to dig in and advertise from? So that's all the stuff that we talked a little bit about on Facebook. Now let's talk a little bit about direct mail. We're not going to dig real deep into this, but I do want to talk a little bit about it. It's pretty cool. What is direct mail, you say? Well, mail marketing can, first of all, be really expensive. And the bottom line is many people have stopped doing snail mail because they don't want to spend the money. They can do all this other stuff for free. But let's just say you want to send a postcard marketing a just listed to your neighborhood. Well, typically you send it out in first-class mail to 250 neighbors, and it costs you about 49 cents just in postage, not including the paper and anything else. So the bare minimum you're going to spend is $122.50. Or if you did not know about this little secret, this was well worth the price of admission today, you can use Every Door Direct. The postage is only 18 cents a mailer, more than half the cost. You're allowed up to an 8.5 by 11 marketing piece for the same price at 18 cents a mailer. And it goes to every door in the mail carrier's route, with the average homes in a daily route of 650 to 750 homes. You reach 3 times the prospects with your message. Here's an example of one that we just did. We literally did this a few weeks ago. I had a very nice listing in the Wheatland area. And so we put a just listed on the back side of the flyer. And on the opposite side, we put home price. We did a landing page. So it went out to 667 addresses at 18 cents a piece, cost me $120. That's less than 250 that would go in traditional mail. I can tell you that the results of that were we received 12 calls and text messages, 8 opt-ins to a landing page within 24 hours of mailing that, all happily left their name, phone number, address, and email. And we have 2 listing appointments scheduled from that. So this cost us $120. I mean, that's ridiculous. I spend that on gas in my car each week. So was your last mailer even successful? I mean, and many times I hear people say they sent out just sold postcards, just listed postcards. For most people, that $122 that they sent out on just listed, they did the same thing again on a just sold and got no results from it. And part of that is because you're just mailing one time to that area. But the other part is you're not really creating super effective marketing pieces, and you're spending tons and tons of money that you don't need to spend. So listen, here's the bottom line. To be effective with your marketing efforts, you do not have to spend a ton of money. If you have the budget, go for it. If you're like that guy I talked to and you got $10,000 a month, you can just, light a fire to, fantastic, go do that. But understanding what buyers and sellers want and finding a way to get the information to them is truly the name of the game. Honestly, it's the way to go. So really evaluate your budget. Look at where you're spending your money and figure out if it's effective. If you're not tracking it, then we're going to be talking about that in a future class, about the importance of that. But for right now, you need to know, where are those dollars really going to and how effective are they? Most agents don't have any clue where their money is going, nor whether it's worth it or if it's even effective. And they're just blowing that money like, it's going out of style. So take the time to really evaluate your advertising and figure out what really works. If you want to learn more about any of these methods and get access to the most effective ads that I'm currently running, then head on over to TuesdayTuneUps.com, where you get access to all the stuff I've previously done, and everything that we do is uploaded into that site. You get tons of access, all my 25 years of knowledge and experience, and truly, it's like ridiculous. It's less than $30 a month. So you don't have to do it. Plenty of options out there, but I can tell you that I personally have used a lot of this stuff. Hugely effective, very, very resourceful, and it would save you a ton of money. Also, 30-day money back if you don't think that it's worth it. I think you would, but who knows? You can do it or not. Either way, we're doing a live event coming up September 17th and 18th. Tamara, one of my good friends, extraordinary trainer, is going to talk a lot about mindset and abundance thinking. And I'm going to talk all about all the marketing stuff that I've just gone over, plus tons and tons of other stuff. We're doing a 2-day live event. So head on over to margueritecrespillo.com/mindovermarket and get signed up. We're only allowing 50 people to participate in that. And I promise you're going to get thousands and thousands of dollars worth of information out of it. So check it out. Connect with me. I love to see you connect. So hop online to all of the social media we just talked about and make sure you add me. I also have a great group called Real Estate Success Strategies and Accountability that is free. We have 400 and some odd members in that group right now. Tons of great information being tossed around at no cost. So thank you so much. Let me see if we have any questions. I don't see any questions there real quick, but thank you so much for participating today. And I look forward to helping you be as successful as you want to be in building that business for a lifetime. Make it a great day.